What is up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you are new, make sure to hit the subscribe button and stick around. I do a lot of different college, lifestyle, fashion related videos, and I have a feeling you're gonna wanna join the party. So today I'm going to be doing one of my most requested videos, and it is a plan with me for a new semester / month. I'm kind of combining the two into one video just because they kind of go hand in hand, and it is currently August 26th when I am starting this. My first day of school is tomorrow, and I need to get myself in order. I need to get myself in check, and a new month is only a few days away. And for the purpose of blogging and YouTube and Instagram, I have a lot of deadlines and stuff that I want to get organized and out on paper. But if you are new, I don't even think I said hello. My name is Mackenzie. I am a sophomore at Kent State University in Kent, Ohio. I am a fashion merchandising major with a minor in fashion media, and I absolutely love it. I am out of state. I am from Maryland. I'm about 4.5 hours from home, and this will be my third semester here at Kent. Now, the reason I want to film this video and I get so many questions about it is because I do a lot here on campus, and you guys know that. I am an Alpha Phi. I'm living in the sorority house, which is why I'm in our study room right now. I was also a part of the Kent State Pink Campus Rep team. I was a part of Bumble's ambassador program, and I took 16 credits my first semester, 18 credits my second semester, and managed to still get above a 3.8 both semesters while still working and doing blogging, YouTube, and Instagram 30 hours a week. So I have a lot on my plate, and somehow I still manage to get things done. Don't get me wrong, I am a normal 19-year-old. I cry over spilled milk too, but for the sake that so many people have asked and know that I kind of have my stuff remotely together, I figured why not sit down and show you guys what works for me. So this is gonna be kind of casual. I'm just gonna be taking you through what I personally do to prepare for the new semester, prepare for the month, and if this helps you, good, I'm glad, and if not, I hope you enjoy. So my very first tip is to figure out what works for you. So for me, I am a planner. I need to see things on paper. So I swear by the Create 365 planners. They are called Happy Planners. They are sold at Walmart, Amazon, Michael's, literally any craft store has them, but you can find them online. The one that I have, this specific style, is going to end in December of 2020. So this one is no longer available, but I will kind of take you guys through it and show you what I like about the planner. This is the size large, so this is the largest size you can have, and I have the horizontal layout. That is what I like, and I'm gonna kind of take you guys through some of my previous months. So they have filler paper that you can put in the first few pages, and honestly, I use it like crazy. This is where I make tons of these rough sketches. I make lots of to-do lists, random time blocking. You guys can kind of see these are some of my time blocking from last semester, and I kind of just have lists. Sometimes I take them out and throw them away, sometimes I don't. The other thing that I love about the Happy Planners is that you can take the pages out. So you guys just saw me take that page out, and I could move it over here and just simply stick it back in. All you have to do is go like that, and there you go. Now the page is in. So the pages don't really rip out without do you know what I'm saying? I hope you guys understand what I'm trying to say. So I'm gonna kind of take you guys through some of my older monthly spreads. That is basically just the calendar version. Some months mine look really pretty, like July and August, and other months they do not. It just depends. I pretty much write down here all of my assignment due dates and what is going up on the blog and YouTube each day. And then over here in the notes section each month, I will write down things that I need to do that month, or kind of anything that stands out to me. So here's November, here is December. December, this is when I was home and I really didn't have a lot going on. You'll notice that January is kind of bland. It just depends. February I went to Fashion Week, so it's a little bit prettier. And then March was pretty just chill, not as much going on. In April, we were at home because of the coronavirus. So my planner, honestly, there's not too much happening over these months. And then throughout the summer, I really don't reach for it as much. I know it kind of doesn't really look that different right now, but I don't use it as much. You can see July was really bland. I never added any stickers, and that was the same for August. But come September, now that I'm back at school and I'm really in a routine, I have blog work, I have schoolwork, I have YouTube, pretty much everything, I will start making it pretty again. now I'm gonna kind of show you guys some of my weekly spreads. So I'm just gonna take you through some of them. I'm not gonna show you all of them, but I usually use a little bit of washi tape and then I use some random stickers. I pretty much always use the Happy Planner stickers. They come in tons of different packs. I think they're $20, but they're almost always 40% off at Michael's, so you can get them on sale all the time. And then I have some stickers that are like little cameras, little Styled by MCKENZ stickers, and those my mom makes for me with her silhouette. So I don't always use a ton of stickers. The only thing that is consistent every single week is I always use some sort of sticker next to my post. I always use the first line of my planner to write down what blog post is going up that day. This is my August spread right now. This is the current week it is, and I'm gonna kind of take you guys through planning out my September, my whole semester, and that first week. So now that you have a planner, I always recommend having one. If you're someone who does things digitally, that's totally fine. And then I always have a blue pen and a black pen. I know some people color code things by classes. I do not. I color code blue for what blog post and YouTube video are going up, and then black for literally everything else. Birthdays, plans, school due dates, deadlines, like all that kind of stuff. So blog, school. And I just like the Bic pens that are literally like 99 cents. Like this is the cheapest kind of pen you can get, and I love them, okay? Next up, I recommend logging into your Blackboard, and you should see a course list of all the classes that you're taking. Our Blackboard keeps all of the courses we've ever been registered in, so these are like all of the credits I've taken here at Kent, and these 7 classes that I am taking this semester are mixed into it. I will do a quick rundown of the classes that I am taking this semester so that you guys can kind of get a feel for it. I told you I'm taking 16 credits this semester. So I'm taking Principles of Microeconomics. I actually took this class my senior year of high school, so hopefully it won't be too hard just because I do have some background knowledge on it. I just didn't pass the AP exam. I got a 2 on it and I needed a 3, so that kind of stinks, but like I said, I do have some knowledge on the topic, so I'm not super worried about it. I'm also taking Fashion Fabrics. I'm taking Fashion Fabrics Lab. Those 2 classes go hand in hand. They are a requirement for fashion, and you're obviously learning about fabrics, fibers, all that jazz. I'm taking Fashion Retail Industry. I'm taking Social Media Strategies, and then my last 2 classes are Frontiers in Astronomy, and then there's a lab that goes along with astronomy as well. So Astronomy Lab. And I'm only taking astronomy because I have to take a science credit and a science lab, and I wanted a course that would be really easy. A lot of people recommended that I take this online astronomy class and that it was a really easy credit. I could knock it off, and that will be the last core class I need. So I did finish up my cores a lot earlier than some other people just because I did come into college with some credits, so that's awesome. I actually was only supposed to have economics and fashion fabrics in person. The other classes that I am taking this semester were already intended to be online classes just because they were only offered online, and people said that taking astronomy online would be easier than taking it in person. So I was already pretty much planning for a mostly remote semester. 2/3 of my classes were going to be online. I took quite a few online classes last semester before Corona happened, so I do have experience with online classwork, which is kind of why I'm filming this video as well, because I've taken online courses, I know how they go, and I also do work for myself, so that means that I am very self-disciplined and kind of, I guess, have some more tips and tricks on what works for me. I think a lot of people think that online courses are going to be a walk in the park, and they're not. It's really not that different. Some are easier, some are harder, but it all relies on you, and you have to be really self-disciplined. You have to be very strict with yourself and set goals and time manage. Otherwise, it's not going to work for you because there's really no one there to tell you you need to get this done right now. So those are the classes I'm taking. Like I said, I recommend going in and then like click on each class, each course, and get those all lined up. And I recommend going through and reading what's already in the Blackboard like area. So for some of my classes, they already have the syllabus, they have the week 1 schedule, and I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna read each individual class. I'm gonna read through the syllabus, and then I'm gonna print each syllabus out. So I just went downstairs to our chapter room to print out all this stuff, and now I'm back upstairs in the study room. I've been in here a lot lately just because no one's been in here. I'm sure that will change once school starts tomorrow, but there's this giant table and I love being able to spread out all my stuff. So here's what the gist is. So I told you guys I am taking 7 classes, but the 2 fashion fabrics, the lecture and the lab go together, and then the 2 astronomy, the lecture and the lab go together. So it's kind of like I'm taking 5 classes. Out of those 5 classes, I had 3 professors that already had stuff in Blackboard. My social media strategies class is only a 10-week course, so that actually doesn't begin until October 10th or something like that. So in the meantime, I'll really only be taking 13 credits, not 16, which I didn't realize, but that's kind of nice because, you know, you'll get to ease on into it. The other one is just like a 10-week online course. And then my fashion retail industry class, the Blackboard section literally had nothing in it. He hasn't sent us any email. He hasn't added any announcements. There's no syllabus. There's nothing. I'm not really sure why, because class starts tomorrow, but oh well. So I printed out the syllabus for my fashion fabrics lecture and lab, for my astronomy lecture and lab, and then for my microeconomics class. And then they also, pretty much every professor does this, they will give you a course schedule, and this is where they break down each week what's going to be due, what you have to read, the quiz time, all that stuff. So I printed that out for each individual class. Every professor does this a little bit differently, but this is what I use to help me plan out in my planner. The one thing that I do want to touch on before I get into showing you guys how I plan out stuff is books. So I recommend not buying the book unless your professor emails you and says, this is the book that you are going to need, you're actually going to use it. I know here at Kent, they oftentimes, the bookstore will send you an email and be like, these are the books that you need. The bookstore wants your money. They are funded by Kent and they want to sell you the most expensive book that they say you're going to need. Do not buy it. Do not buy it a month in advance. Wait until you hear from your professor. Some professors will say, it says you need a book, but you actually aren't going to be using it. Other professors will be like, you're going to need the book, but don't buy it from the Kent State bookstore. Here is an alternative that's going to be cheaper. Other professors will be like, we don't want you to get the actual book. We're gonna get you online access. Like, here is a code to access it for free. I just don't recommend buying anything beforehand because every professor does things a little bit differently. And most of my professors have been like, you don't need this, get this instead, or you're not gonna need anything for this class. Kent State specifically also has like an online book portal, and a lot of the books that we need for our fashion classes are free through that portal. Now, it's not really free because it's somewhere hidden in your tuition payment, like whatever, but it's not an additional cost that you're like dishing out. So I did end up buying one thing for my classes. It's the only book that I need for my classes. I did go through all the syllabi and all of my emails, and none of my professors said I needed anything else. I think professors are also being really lenient this semester just because it is COVID times and a lot of people have lost their jobs, don't have access, all that kind of stuff. So the one thing that I needed to buy was for my fashion fabrics class, and it was a swatch kit. So there's lots of swatches of fabric in it. It was like $78, and she was like, buy it from here rather than the bookstore, because the bookstore was selling it for like $85. So I was able to save a little bit of money, but I bought that book like 2 weeks ago because she emailed us 2 weeks ago and said, hey, you're gonna need this before the first day of class. So that's my take on books. Now that you have all this stuff printed out, you're going to start off with one class. I'm just gonna start with fashion fabrics because it's all the way on the left, and I'm gonna go in order, and I'm gonna sit down and I'm going to write down all of the due dates for the month of September. Now, typically I don't go ahead and write the entire semester in at once. I go month by month, and that's simply because sometimes things change, and then I don't like to do constant like whiteout or crossing things out in my planner. And B, I find that sometimes the way that I planned didn't necessarily work for me, or maybe there's a better alternative for how I should write things down in my planner. And so I don't want to like screw myself over for October, November, December because I was so eager to get it down in the month of September. I don't know if that really makes sense. Astronomy course schedule is kind of like my favorite kind of outline that a professor can do. So I figured I would show you guys. So this professor has the dates of the week, okay? And then they have like what the module is titled. And when you enter a module, usually there will be a few different things. So there's going to be a reading, that's optional. And then they will have 3 different lectures posted that are online recordings. It's kind of like watching a YouTube video, and you sit down and you take notes while they do it. Then there's going to be 2 videos to watch. You'll watch those. And then after you do all these things, which is like the learning portion, you'll apply that knowledge. You'll take a practice quiz, you'll complete this activity, you'll submit a discussion board, and then you'll take a quiz. So he has there's going to be 4 assignments this week that you have to complete, and it needs to be done by Sunday, September 6th at midnight. I love professors who do this. This is the easiest way to just look at everything. And so when it comes to my planner, I simply write down Astronomy week 4 due. Like, that's the best. Whereas like my economics and my fabrics class, they have quiz 3 written down in this course schedule, but they don't have necessarily the discussion boards, the other assignments, like the nitty gritty stuff. So I kind of like when they set it up in the modules, just because it's a little bit easier to understand. But I just went through and I wrote down all of the due dates for things. Honestly, there's not a whole lot. Every single Tuesday by 11 a.m. I have a quiz for my fashion fabrics class due. I love professors who keep things consistent the exact same day and time every single week. And then my economics teacher says there's a weekly quiz, but he doesn't say when it's due. The reason why I love having a stacked schedule is because it leaves my Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays always free. Like, I was only supposed to have classes on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and I did that last semester as well. The only downside to that is that your exams always fall on the same day. So I do know that October 1st will be my very first exam for fabrics and economics on the exact same day. So I did that, and then I wrote down all the astronomy deadlines, and then the only class I'm waiting to hear back from, like I said, is fashion retail industry. I haven't heard anything about that. And then that social media class doesn't start until the following week. I really wanted to take 19 credits this semester, but you are considered the max amount of credits at 18. You have to pay extra once you want to take more than 18, which is totally fine. I was gonna pay like whatever the extra money was to take 19 credits, 1 more class, but my advisor just didn't want to sign off on it. She was like, you're already in a lot, you're working, and I think with remote learning, it's probably best if you just stick with 16. So as much as I don't want to do that, that's what I'm doing as of right now. So now I just went in and I wrote down the dates of events coming up. So sorority recruitment is happening the 5th, 6th, 7th, 11th, and 12th here. So I just wrote those days in, and I also need to write down, I just remembered that we have chapter at 7 p.m. Chapter will start like virtually on Sunday, and we'll start having that every single Sunday. However, they're considering changing the time, so I'm only gonna write it down for this first day just because I don't wanna write it down every single week if it's gonna end up changing. I also went in and wrote down my blog post in YouTube for every single day, basically. My schedule on both the blog and YouTube right now are Sunday, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. But I occasionally have other video ideas / want to post more, and so I'll fill in the Tuesdays and Thursdays. For instance, I am planning on posting next Tuesday and Thursday to YouTube. So I just wrote down as many ideas as possible / dates that I know are set in stone. I don't really have anything planned for the 28th or for like these days over here. Pretty much only the first 2 weeks I have planned out, but I don't go ahead and fill these things out. Like, I don't come up with ideas because sponsored content comes my way or clothes are sent to me in the mail, and then I have content ideas kind of based around what's sent. So I'm not gonna fill these in. I'm honestly just waiting, and I do that pretty much every month. Like, these are posts that I already have photographed. These are posts that I already have the clothing for. I just need to take pictures in them. And then I typically wait until more mail comes for videos, and then I do a corresponding blog post, or maybe some pieces are sent to me for an Instagram post or a TikTok, and I decide to do a blog post to go with. For instance, that's what the Lulu's collab is gonna be on the 16th. So I just keep these dates open, not because I don't have ideas, but because I'm waiting for the clothes and kind of seeing like what the vibes are, I guess. So now that I have all those things written down, I also wrote down some due dates for YouTube videos. I am going to sit down and I'm gonna write more like personal life things / meetings. So for instance, every Monday at 9 p.m. I have a YouTube meeting. So I'm gonna write that down. And then every Thursday at 8 o'clock, I call Connor and his family. So I'm gonna write that down on Thursdays. And then anything else that's like small / kind of in that realm that I already know is going to happen, I'm gonna write down. So typically like my social life kind of calendar doesn't fill itself out until like the week of. For instance, today is Wednesday and yesterday I made plans with one of my friends for dinner on Friday and another friend for dinner on Saturday. So those kind of things usually come up, and I don't really typically write those in my monthly spreads. Usually I'll put them in the weekly spread just because, I don't know, I try to keep my monthly spread as things that like are definite, like set in stone. So here's what the monthly spread is looking like now. Everything is filled in as much as possible right now, and as I get more due dates, more projects, stuff like that, I will fill this in. Of course, as I land more brand deals and have more deadlines for that as well, I will go in and fill those posts in. As you can tell, Fridays and Saturdays are typically my like freer days. I don't have classes on Fridays. I really only have class on Tuesdays and Thursdays for like 4 hours. So I have a very lenient, flexible schedule, which is awesome. And it also really helps with my job. I can kind of blog whenever I want. I can do YouTube whenever it fits for my schedule, which is why I do love online classes. Don't get me wrong, there are so many benefits to going in person to a class, but getting to work around my own schedule is really nice, especially considering what I do. So on Saturdays is usually when I take pictures, or I will meet up with a friend, go out. Obviously this year is a little different because of COVID, but each day or every other day, I do try to do something a little bit social. I know that I may seem like really crazy and like so busy all the time just by looking at this, but I will try to go on a walk with a friend and then grab dinner with a different one 2 days later. I still see my roommates from last year quite frequently. In fact, they both help me take pictures. So the weekends and the hours that I actually am free do tend to fill themselves up, but that's like more spontaneous plans. So now that I'm done with writing everything down, I head back into my room, like where my desk is, and I will start adding stickers and washi tape. Typically I will like switch to fall tape come October. I decided to keep things just black and gold. I tend to pick like a color palette to stick with each month because September is always like my busiest month of the year. I find that September is usually the most chaotic month for me just because it's a change of pace. I'm headed back to school. There's a lot of extracurriculars and stuff. So I like when all my stickers like kind of go together. So I picked black and gold. Over here, I will start writing down my goals for the month. Usually I'll have a subscriber goal, a blog post, like view goal, Instagram numbers, and then just kind of like other personal things that I want to do that month. Maybe if I want to save a certain amount of money or invest a certain amount of money, just like anything like that, I'll write over here. Typically, I like will sit down on the last day of the month and come up with these goals / think of things that I need to get done that month. Forgot to write down a few things. For instance, Tuesdays from 8 to 11 is my laundry slot, and then I am a part of the fashion magazine, and I have stories due every other Monday, and then a meeting once a week. They haven't told us the meeting time yet, so I haven't written it down, but it will be at some time, either Monday or Wednesdays. So I will have that going on as well, just another thing to add to the list. But these are happy planner stickers, and then these due dates, those little like wash stickers, and some of my Style by MCKENZ ones are ones that my mom made. But over here is like where I keep all my stickers, and you guys can see like here are the Create 365 stickers. So I keep them all over here. And then these I use a lot to do those like daily to-do lists and stuff. You guys will see me write in marker, and when I write in that marker, I'm usually writing in these Tombow like little calligraphy pens. It's like a thick marker on one side and then the other side is super thin. So typically I write with the thin side and cross things out with the thick. I have a few different colors, like I have a couple blues, a pink, a purple, a red, and a green, and I use those quite frequently, just so you guys know. So wrapping up the planner. I'm not gonna do next week's weekly spread yet. I typically do that on Sundays, so I'll do that after this school week. But here's like a little glimpse at this current week. Okay, and then the only other thing I recommend doing is finding a system that works for you. So I like a 5-subject notebook. I find that it works for me and I just like it. I like having all my stuff in one place, especially when classes are online. It's kind of like I can just grab one notebook and head to the library, or one notebook and go somewhere, rather than like really needing to lug my backpack around. So I keep, okay, so like here's one subject's worth of paper, because I take notes, you know, for that class. I don't really take a lot of notes in my fashion classes. A lot of it is like Microsoft, Adobe heavy kind of work. A lot of it is on the computer, but I do take some notes. So that is why like this few pieces of paper is enough. And then there's always like one of these dividers, and the divider is typically a folder, and I'll put the syllabus and like the course schedule that I just printed out right inside of that folder, just because that way I have easy access to it. So I have fashion fabrics there, and then if you keep going, I have astronomy, and then if you go to the next one, I have economics in this folder right here. So all my stuff's in one place and ready to go for class tomorrow. So I know this video wasn't really tip heavy. It was kind of just like, here's what I'm doing and what works for me, but I still hope you guys found it helpful. I will try to leave my planner and stickers, my like desk utensils, not utensils, that's not what it's called, desk supplies. I will try to leave that kind of stuff linked below in case you guys want to shop and check out my planner and stuff like that. I will, of course, keep you guys updated on how my semester goes. I'm feeling a lot better now that everything is just organized, it's planned out, and I kind of have a rough sketch of / idea of what my September is going to be looking like. Of course, things are subject to change and things will change. That's inevitable, especially due to the current circumstances. But I just feel better and I feel more prepared kind of going into my first day of classes tomorrow. So hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will talk to you in my next one. Bye guys.